Hi, my name is Karl Juhlke. I'm one of the developers behind Lost in Space. This is a game about losing everything on your way to winning it all. This game is a 1 to 4 player game. It plays in roughly, I think, about 15 to 45 minutes, depending on how many players you play with. And the suggested age rating is 8 and above. We're going to be playing through this game in solo mode. There's a solo mode and there's a multiplayer mode. And the differences between the two are very, very minor. So I'll point out the differences as we go through them. Essentially, it's how sabotages work in the game, and also when you lose a turn, what happens. So those are the two major differences, and also how many cards you start off with. It's just one less in single player. So anyways, we're going to go through it, and I'll just tell you what the game's about. The solar system is dying. The twin suns are imploding, and the resulting vacuum is sucking all planets towards them, which will eradicate all life. There are 4 inhabited planets in the solar system. 4. And all at odds with one another. Thankfully, you found a habitable planet 14 parsecs away that will allow your race to thrive once more. Unfortunately, the rest of the planets in the solar system have discovered this new homeworld as well. This new world will only allow one race to live there in peace. It's your duty with your intrepid crew to bring several hundred pioneers frozen in stasis to this new homeworld to restart your civilization. It's the ultimate race with only one surviving species. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to start playing. This die represents your ship. The number represented on it represents the amount of crew that you have on your spaceship. Okay? So right now you have 5. If you lose it, you get 4. What? You lose it again? What? 3. You lose again? 2, and then you lose 1, and then you're out. You're out of the game when you lose. So you start on your home planet, and as you get parsecs, you move. Those are 1, 2. Some of them give you 2. Some of them only 1. So as you do this, but I didn't face it. I couldn't overcome this obstacle. So flip it over to 4 because I lost 1. So I have the phase 4 transport ship. This is really good because what I can do is I, in fact, start off at 6. My max crew count is increased by 1. Yay! That means that even if I lose some and I gain some, I can get right back up to 6. Whereas other players, if they were playing, their maximum is, 5. So they actually can never get to 6. Their ship capacity is limited at 5. Mine is limited at 6. I have a pretty decent engine, as you can see. I have a very poor weapon, and I have an okay shield. So these are shuffled. So I'm going to place the resources there. I'm going to move this over. You take an extra die, and this is the one you're going to be rolling on certain obstacles. Included in these obstacles that I've just shuffled are the event deck. And the events have the obstacle backing, just like the other obstacles do. But what this one has instead is these will affect multiple players, and they're much tougher, or they're really, really, really easy, and they just give you stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It adds another dynamic. You don't need to play with them. I enjoy playing with them. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, when you set up the game, you set up your parsec card or your mini map here. You have your base ship. And then you are going to put your shield here, engine here, weapon here. You put your resources and your obstacles. Make sure you have your other die. It comes with the game. And make sure you have your die on your home world with the appropriate number on the top. If your ship has an ability that says use twice per game, make sure you put a counter token on it, like this. Boop. So make sure you put the counter token on. My ship doesn't have that ability, so I'm just going to leave it off. So there we go. Okay, so that's pretty much setting it up. Now, in a single player game, you get 6 resources face down. In a multiplayer game, each player gets 7 resources. Okay, so that's the first main difference, and it's a 1-card difference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I get 6. If more people were playing, we'd in fact get 7. So these are my things. You'll notice that here it says weapon, engine, and it'll say the card type, performance enhancer. Basically, you can play performance enhancers at any point in the game, and they typically help you on your journey, but they cannot be equipped. Unless they actually have one of these circles filled in. When we start off in the preparation stage, we keep everything in our hand still. We don't put anything down yet. But what we can do is we can trade. So in a multiplayer game, you can attempt to trade with another player. You choose one player, you give them an offer, they can deny it or accept it. If they deny it and don't propose a counter offer, you cannot trade with any other player. you can still trade with the resource deck. The issue with that is you could say, hey, I'll give you this one card if you give me one card with another player. But with a resource deck, what happens is, for instance, I'm going to take these 2 anti-sabotage cards. I have to take 2. You discard 2 cards and you pick up 1 face down resource. Well, there's another anti-sabotage. Well, that just sucks. So I'm going to do this again. Now this phase lasts 3 rounds. I've used my 1. Here's my second one. I'm actually going to get rid of this anti-sabotage over this one. Make sure you read the text, because here you see this. It's like you were never there. Your saboteur just got duped and sabotaged the hologram. That's a free anti-sabotage. Whereas this one, sacrifice 1 crew member to counteract any sabotage card. So that would suck, because I don't want to lose that crew. So I'm going to discard that one and take another one. I get a sabotage. So in a single player game, sabotages work differently than in a multiplayer game. In a multiplayer game, players can sabotage each other on their turn, off their turn, whenever. You can basically sabotage them and it has to be dealt with right away. However, in a single player game, when you receive a sabotage card, it's the deck sabotaging you, okay? However, if you get a sabotage card either in your starting cards or as you're drawing them in the preparation stage still, we're not talking about the race stage, this is still as you're preparing your ship, you put them randomly back in, and you pick up another card. And you put that in your hand instead. So now I have 4 cards left. I don't have really great cards, but I'm actually going to bypass the 3rd turn, because I don't want, like, if I get sabotaged like you saw there, I want to have something to stop it. And then I have an engine, and I have a weapon, and then I have my performance enhancer, which will give me 3 or 3 or 3 for the next 2 obstacles. So I'm going to choose not to trade during this phase. So what I'm going to end up doing is at the end of the preparation stage, everyone places down their ship parts. So there we go. And I don't have any other ship parts. I have no shield, so I don't get one. So that is the end of the preparation stage. Now we're going over to the race one. Now the race has 3 parts. You can trade, so you can trade with the deck or another player. Obviously in single player, you're only going to trade with the deck. When you play multiplayer, you can trade with other people. If they say no, if that one person says no, then you can trade with the deck. Or you can choose not to. And then you equip. So let's just say I traded. Let's just say I'm not doing this, but let's say I want to discard these 2, pick up another card, and it was the shield. I could then equip it, and then last part is to overcome an obstacle. I have no shield parts. I have no cards I want to trade, so I'm not going to trade. Like I said, I have no shield parts, so I'm not going to put the shield down because I don't have one. So the last thing I can do is turn over an obstacle. Well, that just sucks. So there's, here in the obstacle, you see it'll have numbers up here. Sometimes it'll have words like and or. This one says 5. So I need a 5 to defeat this obstacle. So I don't have a 5, I have a 2, which sucks. So it says you're stuck in place for 1 turn. Unless you can localize your shield around the leak, toxic fumes will claim 1 life as well. Well, so I have 2, and I need a 5. I do have a space farmer, which will allow me to give a +3 bonus to any part for the next 2 obstacles. Now this does mean that if I place it here, it has to stay here. So this is a terrible card because I lose a turn and I lose a crew. I do have 6 crew though, so I might actually just do that. I might put this down to, well, if I could just remember how the dice works. I'll put that down to 5. Now, the other part with single player games is how you lose turns. So in a multiplayer game, losing a turn just means, okay, the next time it's my turn, you skip over me and it goes to the next player. However, because there's only me playing the game, what happens is you roll the die. That's what this one's for. So I'll roll this die, and depending on what I roll, I will either lose a parsec, which is impossible for me, so that would be beneficial. I lose a crew member, which would not be good, and I lose a resource. So I lose a resource in my hand. So I roll this. 1 to 2, I lose a parsec. 3 to 4, I lose a crew member, and 5 to 6, I lose a resource. 3, I lose a crew member. Well, That sucks. Well, a third of my crew members are now dead, and I haven't left my planet. So that's that turn. Which again, I'm not going to trade. I don't have anything to equip, so I'm going to take over another obstacle. Terrifying Nebula. It's seriously terrifying. Speed past it or watch one crew member succumb to the fear. So I need a 4. I have a 3 and a 3, so I have a 6. It's either a win or a lose unless you have the Aluminum Eagle, in which case your speed bonus does matter if you have 3 or more above what this is. So if I had a 7 and I had the Aluminum Eagle, I would actually get an extra resource. So what happens is I can take it as a parsec, or I can transfer it from a parsec down to a resource. I cannot go from resource to parsec, but I can do parsec resource. I am going to take a resource because I'm dumb. Oh, I'm not dumb. This is a really good one. So this is actually a good thing because it's a hyperspace jump. It's a performance enhancer. I can use this at any time. I can skip over any obstacle. So that's good. That's really good. So I'm going to once again take an obstacle because I have nothing I want to trade. I don't have a part to equip, so I take an obstacle. Mothership. Oh shoot. So here it says 4 and 6. Mothership. This ship is one bad mother. You're in for a shipload of trouble. Unless you can defeat it, lose the equipped part that gives you the biggest bonus, which would be my Solar Sailor engine. So even if I used my performance enhancer of the Space Farmer, I can only apply it to 1. So I'd either be able to defeat it with the shield or the weapons. Not even with the weapons, actually. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hyperspace jump, so I don't actually deal with the negative effects of that. Yay! So I'm going to do this again. Asteroid Belt, 2 and 5. Okay. So here's something cool. So 2 and 5, I have a 2 and a 3, but I do have a Space Farmer. And it says, sure, it might be scary, but strap on your big boy pants and hold them up with a belt. If you aren't well enough equipped, roll the die. If it's even, lose your weapons. Odd, lose your shield. I don't have a shield, so, I mean, I could actually just not participate and just lose 1. But I'm actually going to use my Space Farmer on my weapons, which may not be the ideal situation. But I know I'm putting a 1 here because it... putting 1 here because I'm using it this turn. So I actually have a 2 and a 5 this turn. So I'm going to get my resource, which is this. And I'm actually going to take the parsec because I have to start moving. Otherwise, I'm not going to win. So here's my inflatable lab. Research better technology. If I currently have an engine card worth less than 3, go through the resource discards and get one of equal or better value. Discard the original part. Well, I have a pretty good one. I don't think there's a better one. So once again, bypass trading. I'm going to not equip anything because I don't have anything, and I'm going to go heat. Okay, obstacle. Thermostat too high. Ever since your engineer hooked up your air conditioner's power source to the engine, it's been hot enough to cook a ham, speed up enough to cool it down your ship, or lose 1 crew member due to heat stroke, which I can because it's 6 and I have 6, so I win. And sometimes the flavor text down here is not just flavor text. Sometimes it actually has important information. There are some obstacles that say, okay, well, if you have this, if let's just say I think it's the faster than a speeding bullet, which is, I think, FSB drive, which allows you to get +1 against motherships and bounty hunters and stuff like this in speed. Not motherships, because mothership doesn't have a speed. But in any case, it gives you certain bonuses. This one says it's surprisingly efficient considering it's powered through the miracle of photosynthesis, though the secret could lie in the fact that it's a sunflower, so it's a self-charging engine. So, forgot about that. So anyways, no, it doesn't give me a bonus, but I still get the 6. I get 2 parsecs, so I'm going to actually take 1 and take a resource instead. Because remember, I can actually take any 2 cards, I can take any parsec and transfer it into a resource. And so I'm choosing to take 1 parsec and put it into a resource. So now I have these. I don't want the inflatable lab because I have a pretty good engine. And I have this terrible engine, the little engine that could. It's not a good engine. Sure, he tries, but it's more like the little engine that could do better. So I'm going to trade those and get my trade. Duct tape. It's good to attach 2 parts to put them together, and that's the only. This is one of the. I think there are 3 chewing gum and hope, and A welding torch and duct tape, those can allow you to attach different parts together. You can actually do that, so that's fun. But I don't want to trade away this one yet, so we're just going to put this here. Now, you may have noticed I should be removing this because I faced the second obstacle, and it's per for the next 2 obstacles, even if you don't need it. So I did that one, and then there's the second obstacle. So I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to equip. I'm going to face an obstacle. Of course. So air leak. Bad luck. The air leak is in the engine room. Activate your shields quickly. If your shields aren't up to the task, your engine gets sucked out of your ship. You are kidding me. I'm doing that because I just got rid of this, saying that if I have a engine of less than 3, so I would have been able to get it back. So I lost that. Yay. Okay. Distress beacon. Your ship picks up a distress call. Although you're racing to save your own race, you're just too nice to divert course to intercept. You lose 1 parsec, but they give you 2 resources for your trouble. Well, that's kind of nice. 1 and 2. What? Okay, now this is what I'm talking about. Photon torpedoes. Destroy your enemies with the big giant space gun. Looking at it now, are you sure you're not compensating for something? And then plasma shielding. Protection using the 4th state of matter is the best kind. Well, the 4th best. So I now have these, so I can trade if I want. I'm actually going to use duct tape and duct tape that together. So now I have a 6 weapon. I'm going to put my shield on for plasma shielding, giving me a 5 shield. So now it's a 5, 6, and 3. So that's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm glad I got that distress beacon. Dirty laundry. The ship ahead of you ejected their dirty laundry by accident. If you can't shield yourself, your engine is disabled for your next turn while you clean it out. Well, guess what? I can because I have a 6. No, I have a 5. I have a 5 to their 3. I win. I am going to take it as a parsec, though. So I'm going to take another obstacle. And, of course, I don't have the power, Captain. Unless you can divert power from your engines, 1 crew member does not rematerialize. Oh, transporter malfunction. Well, half my crew are gone. I'm not that far. 4 and 3. Space squid. Great Captain Marlin. If you can't overcome this deep space creature, it pulls off the part that gives you the biggest bonus. Well, guess what? I have a 4. Actually, I have a 6. And I have a 3. So I can. It gives me a parsec and 1 resource. So I'm going to take it as a parsec and a resource. Yes! Good, okay. So now I have the faster than speeding bullet drive, so at the beginning of my next turn, I do not trade, I actually just put this on. Okay, so now I have a 7, a 6, and a 5. That is great. That doesn't mean I'm gonna win though, because I can still lose. Solar flare. If you can't shield yourself from the flare, it fizzles out your shields from the strain. So I got a parsec, so I'm gonna take it. Scavenge. You stumbled upon a space junkyard. Pick up 1 face down resource card. Nice. V9 engine. Okay. An engine that runs 100% on vegetable juice. Remember to lubricate the joints with vegetable oil. Okay. So we have that. Now, once again, I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to equip because now here's something I failed to mention before. When you put down a ship part, you cannot exchange it out unless you get an obstacle that is a space dock, or you have a resource that is a space dock, such as the space dock in a box, which allows you to switch out the part. You can put the performance enhancer like I did here, the duct tape or the chewing gum and hope, or the welding torch and fuse it on, but you cannot switch out. You cannot say, okay, now I don't want this one anymore, I'm gonna put a new one on. This prevents you from being able to just take a better weapon or a better shield or engine and place it on there instead. So this adds the bit of the challenge of trying to find a space dock or waiting until you lose a part to equip it. So you actually may lose the better part in your hand, which sucks, and that's the point. Scavenge, another scavenge card. You found a space vulture carrying a resource card. It's your lucky day. Well, it is because I am getting a lot of things. So ultimatum infused skeleton. This is a good one. Play when you lose a crew member. That crew member was infused with an ultimatum skeleton. Can you tell which Marvel franchise this was taken from? And survives. If used after the bounty hunter sabotage, this acts as an anti-sabotage. Seeing as though I have half my guys, this is really, really, really good. Distant encounters with a third kind. There's someone over there. Wait, is there? It's too far away to tell. Too bad you left your binoculars back on your planet. Ooh, too soon. They throw you a resource. Wow, I am getting a lot of resources. Okay, so here's another engine. So normally it's good to have backups, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it for now. That's fine. Sometimes if I would have had 3 engines, I would trade 2 away and keep 1 as a backup. But I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to equip because I can't, and I'm just going to take the obstacle. But I need to keep in mind that I can only have 5 cards in my hand at any given time. I have 4, so I just need to. I'm going to have to start discarding if I keep getting cards. I'm getting too many good cards in a row. Once again, this is not stacked. This is me playing a real game. Okay, 5. Bug-eyed monster. This monster not only sees you, but it sees 900 of you. You have to move quickly to avoid its quick reflexes. If you can't, he squishes your equipped parts, lose their bonuses for the next turn. Now, I can defeat this, but just to show you what it would look like if it was squished, this is essentially what it would be. You put them sideways to show that you cannot use them that turn, but you still have them. If you lose them, you discard them. So now I'm going to take the obstacle, and I have a 4, so I'm going to take a parsec. Because you've got to be crazy to go in there. Unless you can blast away a few inconvenient rocks, your biggest part gets knocked off. So make sure you read the text, because if you don't, you may actually be playing the game incorrectly. So this is basically how you play. You keep taking obstacles and get resources, get parsecs, and you keep playing. So I'm going to finish this playthrough. So Space Dust is a 5, so I have 7. So I get a parsec because it says it won't put a hole in your ship, but it gums up your engines. If you can't withstand it, take them offline for your next turn unless you have Chewing Gum and Hope equipped, which we don't. We have Duct Tape, but we can defeat it anyway, so we get a parsec. Okay, this is good. Planet-eating planet. Ooh, good. We have a 7, so that defeats it. It's a planetarian, but that doesn't mean it doesn't enjoy a ship every now and then. Outrun it or lose 2 equipped parts of your choice. So I get a parsec and a resource. Remember, I cannot take a resource put it into a parsec. I have to take it. Okay, it's a ray gun. So I have 5 cards there. I'm not going to equip. I'm going to take another obstacle. Now here, aha, this is pretty cool. Space Fuzzies, it's a 5. I do have that. It says these little guys will love you to death. If you have Warm Fuzzies equipped, which we do. Where did this go? Okay, which we do. It says they will leave, only giving you 1 resource card, no parsec. So I get the resource card, no parsec, because I have the Warm Fuzzies equipped. So I say, ha! I was excited because it actually shows exactly what I was trying to say. So it's a baby on board sticker. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is I have 6 cards. I have to discard 1. I'm going to discard that. I'm not going to trade. Man, okay. Sad little robot 4. Speed past him or you'll feel so guilty you'll give him your shields just to make sure he feels safe. He already has a shield, but 2 is always better, which is true. This card was actually changed because my wife was very sad. Felt bad for the robot and thought, oh, this robot doesn't even have a shield? Of course I'll give him my shield. And I go, okay, fine, I'll put the flavor text in that he already has a shield. So she doesn't feel so bad. So I get a parsec because I have 7 to its 4. It came from inner space. It's a 5, so I have a 6. So I win it. Outer space became so popular that this monster had to move to inner space to get away from it all. If you can't defeat it, it removes your weapons just to mock you. Haha, because you need weapons to do that. Anyways. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Your brakes break. This doesn't sound too bad in space due to momentum. However, you keep going forward into an asteroid that you call home for your next 2 turns. Lose 2 turns. Now, in a multiplayer game, I would just bypass my turn 2 times. But in a single-player game, I have to roll the die, like I did last time, remember? 2, I lose a parsec. And that was my first one. And my second turn I lost is a 6. I lose a resource. So I'm actually going to end up losing. I'll lose the twin turbines. So that's that. Now go to the next one. Mind games, 5, and I have a 6. 1 crew member is trapped in a psychic commune, forced to relive moments of their past for the aliens' amusement. Blast the aliens away or lose the crew member. 1 parsec. Good. Shipwrecked engineer. If you want, trade with him. If you trade, discard 1 ship part from your cargo and draw a face-down resource card. Actually, you know what? I might just end up doing that. I'll do the vegetable drive. I get ninja skills. Well, okay, that's not bad. It's an anti-sabotage card. I haven't faced any sabotage cards yet. And there are quite a few in there, so I'm surprised that I haven't actually come across any. 4, 3, and 6. Oh, I barely did that. If you can't defeat it, you get caught up in its Alfredo of evil. Lose 1 crew member. So I have 2 parsecs. 1, 2, and 1 resource. So I take this, and it's a space dock, which is exciting, but not necessarily for me right now. Because I don't have any better weapons, or shields, or engines. So I'm actually now on my next turn, which is now, I'm going to discard these 2 and pick up another one. Oh, here's the sabotage. Okay, so normally this sabotage is played by me. I could pick it up and play it on someone else, but this is for me. It says you hire a bounty hunter to kidnap a crew member from another ship. Roll the die to pay. So 1 or 4, pay 2 resource cards. 2 or 5, pay 1 resource card. 3 or 6, no charge. So not only am I going to have to lose a crew member, I am going to have to pay them. So it's a 2. 1 resource card. So I have to pay 1 resource card. However, remember as I was saying, the ultimatum infused skeleton. I can play when I lose a crew member. And if used after the bounty hunter sabotage, which is what this is, this acts as an anti-sabotage, which means I don't actually have to pay. So woohoo! I don't lose anyone, and I don't have to pay. That's pretty exciting. But I do get to pick up an extra card, because that was a sabotage card, which is a love machine. Won't work for nobody but you. Cannot be traded. So I can't actually trade this. I have to lose it a different way. Okay, so next one. Great Wall of Space. Great Fortune Cookie. What's a giant floating wall doing out here? If you can't go over it or around it in time. Blast your way through or lose a turn going the long way around. So I have a 6. Boop. And then lack of funds. Unfortunately, the government on your planet did not plan for replacement parts. You owe the creditor a ship part from your cargo or the next ship part you get. Keep this card until you pay it off. Well, I will lose this nobody but you because I don't want that in my hand. Okay, next one. El Space Dorado. You found the lost city of El Space Dorado. Fill the rest of your cargo with face-down resource cards. If you already have the maximum resources your ship can carry, at least try to enjoy the view. So I have 2, and 5 is my maximum, but now I can only pick up 3. So 1, okay, it's not a sabotage. 2, it is a sabotage. So it's launched an EMP on one of my, it's on me. Choose a part to sabotage before rolling. If successful, the part is disabled for the current turn or next turn. Okay, so actually what I forgot to do with the bounty hunter is I have to roll to make sure that the sabotage actually worked. So you roll the die. On a 1 or 6, it failed, and 2, 3, 4, or 5, it worked. Okay, so it worked. So this says it's going to go on one of my parts for my next turn, which sucks. So I also roll the die. On a 1 or 2, I disable my shield. On a 3 or 4, I disable my weapon. And a 5 or a 6, I disable my engine. It's a 3. It's my weapon. Okay, that sucks. Just to remind yourself. So I had, remember, that was my card number 4, so I'm going to pick up another 4. It's a weapon. And I'm going to pick up my next one. Performance Enhancer. Medic. It's a medical miracle. Use immediately after losing a crew member to bring them back to life, nullifying their death. If used after the bounty hunter sabotage, this acts as an anti-sabotage. I don't know how giving mouth to mouth to someone who is kidnapped and taken away brings them back, but it works. Okay, so that was that turn. I'm going to trade these 2 in, get another card, and I get Camo Paint. If space were a jungle, you'd be invisible, but it's not, so good luck. Okay, I'm not getting some good cards there, but I'm almost there, and so I go here and just hope that it's not a weapon-based one. It's not. Good. Space Freezer. You thought space was cold? This is at least 3 times colder than that. Lose a turn if you can't go fast enough, which I can. But go here, and this was only for 1 turn, so I take that away. I guess discarded, and my weapons are back. So it looks like I'm going to actually win this one. Time to Annihilation Field. You're moving slowly. Lose your next turn. Oh, of course I do. So I should have mentioned this earlier. If you look down here, you'll have your good, like the bonuses you get if you defeat it, and you have your ill effects, which is what you lose if you can't defeat it. This has nothing, you just lose. So once again, I roll. I lose 2, which is lose a parsec. Force. Ion Cloud 6. Oh no. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting because I'm pretty stocked up on my engine and my weapons, but not my shielding. I mean, it's pretty good, but here you can see that it's a 6 to my 5 that I can math. And so there's no way around it. So I'm not really stocked up on my shieldings compared to this card, so I will lose, but I could lose something else other than my shield, so we'll see. There's no way around it, so you need to go through it. Keep your eye on the ion. If you can't, you lose your shield. Okay, so I do lose my shield. Bye-bye, shield. Now, if I get something with a shield again, that's gonna suck. Oh, ow! Ooh, oh, this sucks. Okay, so this is an event. So it says, Supernova, a star 1 supernova as you pass it and pushes you forward 1 parsec. If you don't have a shield part equipped, your engines are obliterated due to the immense force. So I do go forward 1. I do not have a shield, and I lose my engine. Now normally, in a multiplayer game for events, you roll this, and this would be the range of whoever drew the event. So for me, it would be a 1, so it would be anyone, okay, well not the person who's won obviously, because the game would be done, but anyone on 12 or 13 would be in this event. If you roll a 6, it would go within the range of 6, so 13 minus 6, so it would be 7. So basically 7 to here would be in the event. So basically if you're here and you draw an event, you basically include everyone in there if you roll a 6. Anyways, okay, so I lost my shield and my engine in 1 turn. This just shows you how quickly everything can change. So we have that. Yay. Troubling furballs. 1 stinks on board and multiplies. If you have all 3 parts equipped, your crew notices what's going on before it's too late. If not, lose your smallest part. Well, shoot a boot. Because I have and then just shield. And I didn't equip it because I just got so used to just taking these. So, shoot. So, I can't defeat it because I don't have all 3 parts equipped. So I lose my smallest part, which is in fact my largest part. Okay, well, that sucks. So I now have nothing. I am going to, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to actually trade this in, hoping to get a shield. No, it's another weapon. Okay, well, I'm going to equip this and that. It's not much, but at least it's something. Asleep at the wheel. Aside from black holes, meteors, planets, ships, moons, asteroids, and stars, there isn't much to hit out here. Unfortunately, you lost some ground by leaning on the controls while you slept. I lose a parsec. I'm going opposite of where I want to go. Merchant. You may trade any 1 card from your cargo for either the top card from the discard resource deck or the top card from the resource discard pile. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Okay, I have this. I'll chance it. Not my problem field. Ooh, too bad I didn't have this. This is fun. Because it says, if you ever lose your shield, roll a die. If it's even, then it's not your problem. And the player to your left loses their shield. If it's odd, you lose this one. So it's kind of a nice thing. Okay, let's see. Body Snatchers. Lose 1 crew member unless you can repel the Body Snatchers. And I can't. If I still had my medical, or my medic, I could. Lost my toolbox. Man, I just bought that toolbox last week. Lose any performance enhancers in your cargo. I have a shield. It's not a performance enhancer, so I'm okay. I don't have enough to trade. I can't equip, so I'm going to keep going. Deathbot Test Ground. Exterminate. Lose 1 crew member unless you can safely blast your way through. Okay, so I now have a 1. And I am so close to the homeworld. But I don't have 4 and 4. 5 or 7. Unless you can destroy or outrun the bounty hunter, he will take 1 of your crew. If you can use your weapons, you get 1 parsec. If you use your engine, you get 2 parsecs. I can't, and so I lose a crew. So, off. So, I made it to parsec 12. Now you can see how you can easily go from a really well-equipped ship to nothing. And it sucks, but at least for myself, that's part of the joy of this game. I don't know, I had a lot of fun making the game. I hope you enjoy playing it. This is available for free as a print and play on Board Game Geek. The link will be in the description, as well as a link to my homepage, which has the rest of my games that I have. Anyways, I hope you enjoy playing this. I enjoy playing this, even when I lose, and it's, hope you have fun.